But when things aren't going good, you need to go back to basics. I'll tell the players early in camp that if we're struggling, don't expect me to magically scheme our way out of it during a game. We're going back to basics, and we're going to call the things that we've been practicing since day one, and we got to fight our way out of it.
I'm going to start right there. I'm going to absolutely, unequivocally start right there. When things aren't going good, we got to get back to the basics. You know what I mean? We haven't had a defensive coordinator with that mindset in quite some time in Philly. You know what I mean? When things aren't going good, let's get back to the basics. Let's get back to what we know. Let's get back to the things that we did that made us good. Let's get back to the things that we practice. Like, what is your baseline for getting these things corrected? You can't out-scheme your way out of everything. You can't look for a perfect play. When the stuff is sliding off the rails last year, what the Philadelphia Eagles do in the midst of that? Change out defensive coordinators. There was no plan to get back to the basics. So Vic Fangio was already bringing an OG presence, already bringing a presence of a guy who's been around this thing, you know what I mean, for a very long time. He's already given a I won't panic if everything hits the fan. I'm not going to panic. That's what Vic Fangio was telling us from the rip. So, you know what I mean? I love it. I love the answer to this. I love the statement by our new defensive coordinator, man. I think things are looking up for the Philadelphia Eagles with Vic Fangio for sure.
So how have you adapted to?
And linebacker specifically, how do you see the personnel here matching what you want to do?
Well, when you say linebacker, I think inside linebackers. Okay. I think they're off to a good start. We've got Bond here who's played a little bit of inside linebacker in New Orleans. He really didn't play a whole lot of defense there, but he was inside some, more outside. We think he can play inside, and I have not seen anything so far that says otherwise. Obviously, we got Devin here from Tampa. You guys are well aware of him. He had a great career going, had a down year last year for whatever reason. We hope to get him back to where he was. N'Kobe's on the mend from his injuries last year. Who am I forgetting here? Keep going. Yeah, Trotter's got to come in and join the fray, and let's see what he has. And Burks, too, he's been a veteran backup. He's in the hunt, too. So, we don't have anybody established as, per se, an Eagle, but we've got guys to work with, and we're happy with the group so far.
This is important in terms of, linebacker play and what we think about the linebackers. A lot of people are underestimating, the Zach Bond, pickup. I've been on Zach Bond since college. I thought that he could possibly bring something to the table when we were talking about linebackers years ago. But what you're hearing from Fangio was that he has some experience as an inside linebacker. So he might get some reps other than special teams. He might get some reps. N'Kobe Dean is on the mend. He knows that. When we're talking about, Devin White, we know what Devin White can bring to the table if he is that caliber of guy. You know what I mean? Again, can we get the old Devin White back? Still young, still like 26 years old or something like that. But, what I really liked when he talked about the linebackers was this. We got to see what Trotter got. Nobody's coming in here and anointing anybody. You know what I mean? Nobody's anointing anybody as the guy at the linebacker position. Everybody will get treated and tried fairly, and we have to see what these guys have in the toolbox. We have to see how they can contribute. So already he's saying that these guys got to play for everything that they earn. I like it, man. I really do.
Howie asked me to watch several players. I gave him my opinion, and then he took it from there.
When it comes to...
I think Vic is being extremely modest with that statement in the way that he put that. The drafting patterns of the Philadelphia Eagles this past draft were abnormal, to say the least. You never seen the Philadelphia Eagles go back-to-back cornerback. You know what I'm saying? You never seen the Philadelphia Eagles, go after a guy in Jalen Hunt, who, a lot of people really didn't know much about. Small-town school guy, with that high of a draft pick. You never really seen the Eagles do certain things, and that guy fits Fangio's scheme to the T. Fangio had an enormous impact and an enormous, just presence over the draft and the way the Philadelphia Eagles approached it. You could tell that already his wisdom is oozing through the building. If Howie's going to listen to a guy like Fangio, Fangio has, you know what I'm saying, the respect of the organization. So, yeah.
Multiplicity over different positions.
Yeah, there's a lot of players that physically are capable of being versatile. Where a lot of them get eliminated from being versatile is they struggle to learn and the assignments and the techniques and the execution at a couple different positions. So there's a lot of guys that are versatile physically, but can't do it mentally. You know, and I don't mean that they're not going to get, your reps are watered down the more you're moving around. And other guys are easier, it comes easier for them than others, if that makes sense to you. And what was the second part?
Just the fact of how you start those types of players out. If you see
Yeah, you start them out at a primary position, and then you start giving them the secondary position and go from there.
You know, I absolutely love his thoughts on versatility. Love them. You know what I mean? It speaks volumes as to why exactly the Philadelphia Eagles traded up for Cooper DeJean. We're looking for somebody who has the mental capacity to learn terminologies and learn all the nuances of multiple positions. And, you know, Cooper DeJean, his versatility is something that's been hailed and held in high regard for a very, very long time. Yeah, a lot of people could run, jump, be fast, tackle. A lot of people can do that, but can you do it from different positions? Can you do it from the standpoint of where we need you to do it from? The Philadelphia Eagles already believe that Cooper DeJean can do it because he already did it in college. You know what I'm saying? And it makes perfect sense for that pick of Cooper DeJean at 2, and for, you know, how Vic Fangio and the organization handles, you know, versatility and things of that nature. And I like what he talked about how do I bring on a versatile guy? Well, you bring him on slowly. You start him at a primary, then you slowly start to incorporate a secondary position. I love it.
What's it like to come into a new job and have this kind of talent on the roster?
Yeah, it's been a really fun process. You know, through the whole process, you're kind of getting to know the personnel, and then just the way Howie's obviously handled this offseason has been phenomenal. Just, you know, the pieces we've added to complement the pieces that are already in place. I think it's been a phenomenal setup. We're really, really excited about it.
Make no mistake about this. You know, one of the deciding factors in Kellen Moore taking his job is that he didn't have to start from scratch. There was already an offense in place. There's already a presence of who does what. Your quarterback, you already know that guy. His weapons are already established. This team just went to the Super Bowl the year before you got there. Or the year before last, prior to you getting there. This is a Super Bowl team. You know what I mean? This is a contender that you're stepping in front to. So, of course, you're happy to be here. I'm happy you're here, Kellen.
System different. How's your system different from what the Eagles have done here the past 3 years?
Yeah, I think everyone's got their different flavor from a systematic approach. I think our real focus here as we've gone through this process is, you know, we got a lot of good going on, and we can't lose the good and the reps that, you know, Jalen and AJ have developed and Dallas has developed, and this offensive line have developed, and how can we build off of those things and really connect the whole thing.
So if you've been following me for a long time, you already know my thoughts on Kellen Moore and how the Dallas Cowboys and the Dallas Cowboys and the Dallas Cowboys fan base have been, you know, avidly trying to make Kellen Moore the scapegoat or make it seem like Kellen Moore isn't a good OC. This is the thing, man. Kellen Moore is saying everything that makes sense, that points to, you know, he is a good OC. You know, we got a lot of good here. You know what I mean? We don't want to do anything that takes away the reps from A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert. You know what I'm saying? He's already talking about the guys. He's talking about the guys, A.J. Brown and Dallas Goedert. We're not trying to take away from that, but how do we enhance that? How do we make that better? That's important.
So that's been a really fun process. You know, there'll be tweaks, there'll be changes. Everything's constantly evolving. That's part of this whole offseason program. I mean, we just got to our first week of actually being on the field with these guys. Once you get on the field, things just start evolving. And so that's really where we're at. We're at a really beginning level of this thing. We're really, really excited to go through this process with phase 3, get a little bit more field work. And then really when you get to training camps, when you can really hammer in the run game and the play action game and how all that stuff connects.
Talk that play action talk. Talk that play action talk. That's what I'm talking about right there. Where was play action last year? Talk that play action talk. Talk that attack the middle of the field talk. Talk that talk, Kellen.
What are your first impressions of Jalen and how is he unique to guys like Dak and Justin?
Yeah, I really enjoyed Jalen's process. So far, I think really it's focused on how he processes the game and just kind of the classroom aspect of it, and we're beginning the field process of really getting out on the field and being able to do this thing. But I've really enjoyed our conversations. I think he's a really smart player. He has a great feel for this game. The more conversation we have, the more we get to make these adjustments and build off of this thing. But Jalen's one of the premier quarterbacks in this league for a reason, and you see it, on film previously, but obviously getting on the field now, you're certainly seeing it.
I think that Jalen Hurts will operate Kellen Moore's system better than any quarterback he ever coached. He'll operate the system better than Dak Prescott. He'll operate the system better than Justin Herbert. And then what will the haters have to say if that's the case? If Jalen Hurts can get to a championship game year one with this guy, Kellen Moore, as his offensive coordinator, what's the excuse for everybody else? What they're going to say was the team. What they're going to say. I think that Jalen Hurts is smarter than Dak, smarter than Justin Herbert. And I think that he will operate the system better.
How different will
Doug and Kyle, it seems like an apparent focus on quarterbacks and your choice there, if that's true. I mean, what do you guys feel needs to be accomplished there? What do you bring differently in terms of quarterbacks and your approach? What needs to happen?
I think anytime the quarterback room, you always have to be conscious of how many voices are with the quarterback. And so I'm fortunate I've been around Doug for a number of years, really since he joined our staff in Dallas in 2018, but in 2020 he became the quarterback coach. And so we've kind of done this thing together for a number of years now. And, we kind of complement each other and certainly personalities and the way we coach. And so we can kind of play off each other, feed off of each other really, really well. He does a phenomenal job with the details and the fundamentals just of playing the quarterback position, and he does a great job with that. I think the more you're around him, you see him out on the field, the drill work and all the things that he does to tie the pass game together for the quarterback is huge. And it allows me to kind of stay in the scheme aspect of this thing, to be a little bit more on the philosophical side while still being able to overlap. And I think that's a critical aspect of this.
The Kellen Moore hire comes with a lot. The Kellen Moore hire comes with, in terms of, how your quarterback can develop and what your quarterback can benefit from this. Dak Prescott has had somewhat of career numbers under Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore has been around Justin Herbert. You know what I mean? Jalen Hurts benefits from Kellen Moore coming in and bringing his own staff. I think that, we're going to see a lot of positives in the passing game this year from the Philadelphia Eagles. But in totality, man, from what these two coordinators had to say, I'm almost ready to run through a brick wall through these guys. And I know that they'll get the best out of the players on this roster. I really feel strongly that Fangio will have this defense in the top 5, and I think Kellen Moore will have this offense looking extremely explosive. Let me know some of your best takeaways from the presser. You know what I mean? Fly goes fly.